Hello YouTube, come back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about the new hunter that arrived to the game. Well, there are two hunters, but we'll focus on one of them today. And they're the collab units for i-dle group. i-dle, i-dle, i-dle. Not sure which is the correct version, but I think it's i-dle group. And they have two new units. One is a water element unit that we'll be talking in another video, and today we're going to be focusing on the light unit, none other than Miyeon. I hope I pronounced it correctly. She's a light fighter type unit and she's interesting. She has a different style of combat with her unique kit. It's a simple kit, not too much to go over. It's basically the way you play her, it's a bit different. She creates some sort of pillars on the ground and they grant you buffs and more damage, and they do more damage when they're on the field, I believe. And you have to mix and match the abilities in a specific order to maximize her damage, and she's an interesting unit. There's going to be a lot of people that are coming to the game because of the collaboration. So if you're a new player, welcome. And how do you obtain Miyeon? Miyeon is a summonable unit, but you don't have to summon for her if you don't want to. But in this game, if you want to have the strongest possible version of the unit, or hunter in this case, you want to get to the 5th advancement. How do you do that? Well, usually it's through the summoning system, but for the i-dle collaboration units, there's a different way to obtain one or two of the copies. So you can obtain her for free, completely for free, by doing a couple missions on the battle pass. So if we go to the battle pass, you'll see that you get one copy for free for Miyeon, and I'll mention it again in the Shuha video, but you can get one for Shuha as well. And if you do that, you obtain one copy for free. How do you obtain another copy? Well, if you buy the battle pass, you'll get an advancement for her, so you get the first advancement by paying the battle pass, which is obviously money based, so you can skip the battle pass copy, and if you want to obtain another version, you can do the event. So if you go to events, you might not be, if you're a new player, you'll have to reach a certain stage and the level to obtain the right to use events. But once you do that, you can come to the events, and as you can see, you can obtain from the events one copy of Shuha from story, and status check missions another copy for Miyeon. So at least for free, you guarantee the first advancement. If you buy the battle pass, you are guaranteed the second advancement. The rest of the advancements, you have to go to menu, to draw, and as you can see, you can summon for the rest of the copies of the units. Is it advised? Well, if you really like them because it's your favorite band and your favorite idols, then it's all power to you. You can summon for them. They're decent, and they can be useful for you in the beginning, especially since you obtain two copies. The first copy, the hunter itself, and that first copy for free, so at least you don't have to use as much summons as the other units to obtain more advancements. And you can also choose which one you want to focus on. You can focus on Miyeon first, and once you get the 5 advancements, you should be able to switch for the other one. So you can focus on the advancements for your favorite idol. If these two are not your favorite idols and you want the rest, well, don't worry, they will eventually be added in other summons and events, so it's not going to be a one-time thing. We don't need these two. All of them will eventually come to the game, and you can obtain them by doing the same thing, I believe, that we're doing right now, unless they decide to change something. They're going to be, the other will be free to obtain, the first advancement will be free to obtain, and the rest of the copies will be by summoning. That's how you obtain the Miyeon. So after you obtain them, what do you do? Well, you will increase her level, increase her power through the growth system. Of course, if you want to have her maxed out, you want to max this out, obviously, and then you have artifacts. But first, let's just see what she does. She scales off defense, so we're going to be focusing on defense artifacts. And her core attack and basic attack are just light element damage skill by scaling of defense. Her first basic skill, she deals damage and summons a green mana power crystal, so you'll summon a crystal to the field and the crystal will deal damage equal to 250% of descending Glissando's damage. So it will deal 250% of the damage you deal with Glissando, which is the skill we're seeing right now. Second basic skill, it's 2 stages. The first stage will deal decent damage and summon a yellow mana power crystal that, like the green crystal, will deal 250% of the skill's damage. This time it's this skill, and then you can gain the double time launch. When you do that, you can channel the skill by holding down the button. You can charge the skill and deal damage. While you're charging, you'll get a shield equal to 10%. You will charge your power gauge by 10%, you will increase the damage of your ultimate skill by 10%, and your core attack damage by 10%. You want to use this before you use your ultimate, since it will grant you more damage to your ultimate, of course, and it will charge your ultimate faster. And then we have the skill for when you're playing as Sang Jin-woo. It's just damage, not really necessary. The intro skill, just damage. Then the ultimate. The ultimate is just also damage, but when you use the ultimate, which is important, you will reset the cooldowns of your skills. So you want to use your skills before you use your ultimate, because you'll reset the skills again. So how do you do the skill combination? If you go to skill guide, they will tell you do the basic skill 1 into core attack, into basic skill 2, then the charged, then you use your ultimate, which will reset your skills. And then you use core basic 1, core basic 2. Same deal as you did previously. You're basically going to start always with basic skill 1 into core into skill 2. Then you go to ultimate, core, and we start again. Basic skill 1, core, basic skill 2 times, and you will switch out because you don't have the ultimate then, and do the rotation, but once you go to war again, you'll deal the rotation again. So it's a unit that will stay a bit on the field because of the fact that you want to use your abilities twice, which means that you're going to spend a bit of time with her on the field. And her passive. Her passive is when you use your ultimate, which is i-dle, you activate the highlight effect, which says that when you use your core attack, you place a black mana power crystal, which will increase the light damage by 15%. So you want to use your core attack right after the ultimate, like the skill guide mentioned, because you'll create the black mana power crystal. And you'll also gain a shield equal to 5% of your max HP, which is not amazing because you don't want to focus on HP. And you increase your defense by 30%, which is really good because you're going to be dealing a ton of damage with your scale of defense, so the more defense increase you can get, the better. And then black mana power crystal will give you, like the other ones, damage equal to, this time, the core attack, which isn't something you want to focus on, so don't really worry about that. It's just free damage and you just focus on that. Then you have the advancements. The first advancement, which you can get for free, it's when the user enters the stage, it charges their power gauge by 50%. So the moment you start the game, the fight, you have 50% of your power gauge already charged. And when you use your ultimate, it activates their core attack, which is important, and restores 600 of their MP. So you'll get MP back, which is really good since you're spamming abilities. And since this one is for free, everyone will get access to it, so it's really good. The second one increases light damage. The third one, when you use your skills, you get a shield. And when the shield is active, you get 6% defense increase for 30 seconds, stacking up to 10 times. So the more skills you do, the more damage increase you'll have, since you can get 60% defense increase by spamming your abilities, which is really good. So the third advancement will be important if you want to actually use Miyeon. The first advancement, it's usually the same for every hunter. You get more defense for every light team member. And the last advancement, when you use your ultimate, your crit rate increases by 10% and the crit damage by 20% for 15 seconds. And when you use your skills, it will charge your power gauge by 3% and reduces the cooldown of headliner by 4.5 seconds. Which means that when you have the last advancement, you will be spamming your abilities and your ultimate constantly, because you're going to be charging your ultimate really fast with these advancements. And that's pretty much it for their skills. So how do you build her? We know that she skills of defense, and she likes to use her skills a lot, which means that the chaotic infamy set will be a great set for her, either the 4-piece chaotic infamy with 4-piece curse or the 8-piece chaotic infamy. 8-piece is good and especially better for team fights, since it will increase your damage by 40% in team fight modes. So if you're going for Power of Destruction or Guild Boss, you want to use the 8-piece infamy, but for the rest of the content you can use 4-piece infamy and 4-piece obsidian, since it's easier to farm than the 8-piece infamy. For stats, we already know she scales of defense, so you want additional defense as the main stat for every set, and defense percent as substats. The sets that you don't get to choose, like the gloves and the necklace and earrings and armor, but armor is defense scaling, so it's good for you, and you can choose the additional defense one, which is better for her. You want to get the substats to be defense percent and additional defense. Those two are the most important ones, with critical hit rate, critical hit damage, depending on the side, and defense penetration damage increase as the other substats. The more of them you have, the better, but especially you want to have at least defense and additional defense as one of the substats, with at least 2 or 3 points into them. For the boots, you want critical hit damage main stat with this is a bad boot, but I don't have a better one for now, with the substat of defense percent and additional defense. For cores, the increased ultimate skill, when you use the skill, the ultimate skill increase your critical hit damage is really good for her, so you want to Nameless Demons for the first one. With additional attack, I don't have an additional attack one for light, so additional attack as the main stat, and the ones you're lacking. Usually you want crit damage, defense penetration or damage increase, or critical hit rate, depending on how much crit rate you have, as one of the substats, since you want to get 8000 crit rate, at least for fights that you are on head. The second one is irrelevant, since the passive is just a defensive passive, and usually I don't really care. Just want additional defense as the main stat, which is really important. Substat is one of the ones I mentioned already. And last one, you can use the Teeth of the Watcher for the decreased consumption, so you will recover less MP, but you also spend even lesser MP, so it's really good for spamming hunters. Or you can also go for Ancient Wraith's mana power, for when you use your basic attack 3 times, you restore 3% of your power gauge. Since you're going to spam your ultimate, you could also use this one, which is really good on her, since when you use your ultimate, you will have 600 mana restored because of the advancement. As we saw in your advancement, when you use your ultimate, you activate your core attack and restore 600 of your MP. So if you care about MP, it's better to go for the one that increases your power gauge whenever you do 3 basic attacks, so it's better to go for that one. And that's pretty much it for Miyeon. She's interesting, she's definitely strong. I'm not fully built on her, so I could improve her by a ton, especially if I get advancements on her weapon and her own advancements. Once I get first advancement, she'll be even better. And she's going to be one of a lot of people will be their favorite idol. So I hope you enjoy the game and enjoy playing as your favorite idol. That's going to be it for today's video. If you like, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!